a Father's Day Sunday all over the world and here at Yankee Stadium on a hot and steamy one. Yeah, get that picture forever. It is time for baseball as Pix 11 presents New York Yankees baseball. Today it's the New York Yankees against the Oakland Athletics in the rubber game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball and a happy Father's Day, along with David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. I'm Mike, okay? Yankees with a big victory yesterday by a score of 7-5, and Paul, right in the middle of it, was Gio Urshela.
You know, I love starting the show talking about Gio Urshela because he's such a big part of this team. I mean, he helps you defensively. He's got a great attitude. You know what? He is a part of their offense. I don't know if you've ever seen this in a game before. A little shrapnel to the eye ends up being a double play. Sometimes these plays can almost embarrass you as a player. So what do? You come through later in the fifth inning, RBI single, and a huge bomb. Go ahead in the eighth inning. Big part of the Yankee offense yesterday.
Well, let's take a look at what Urshela has done over the last 15 games. 317, 4 home runs and 7 runs batted in. A very nice OPS of 942. Well, the Yankees will try to now win a series against the A's, and that would be an accomplishment because when the A's came into New York, they were one of the hottest teams in baseball, literally the hottest team in the month of June. So, David, they turn to Jordan Montgomery to get it done.
Yeah, Jordan Montgomery pitches a much better at home than on the road, but in his last start up in Buffalo, he walked the bases loaded in the first inning and kind of avoided disaster, only giving up 1 run. So that was mission accomplished. That could have been a much worse situation for him. But then later in the game, as you see, you know, Jordan Montgomery kind of got it going. A little bit of a mediocre start as he ended up giving up 5 runs and 4 earned as Bo Bichette kind of docked in 2 runs with that base hit there. But nonetheless, the Yankees were in the game, ended up coming back and winning that game.
And he likes pitching in the Bronx, David, so in 6 starts at home, 2-1, 2.75, a strikeout per inning, just 6 walks, and opponents hit 220 against him. Now, most starters don't give you complete games anymore, so the bullpen plays a very large role in any baseball game. Yesterday, it certainly did for the Yankees. Helped them get a win, a big win. Ryan Ruocco has more when we return on Pix 11. Well, the Yankees are ready to take the field after an exhilarating victory yesterday afternoon, trying to hand the A's something that they haven't had all year, which is shocking. They have not had a road series loss all season. So the Yankees come in at 37-33, and the A's come in at 44-28. So let's take a look at the A's starting lineup, which is brought to you by your Tri-State Audi dealer. Well, here is the lineup, and you have to worry about a lot of the guys in there. Matt Olson at first base, all top 5 in the majors this season, 19 home runs, 52 ribbies, and a .607 slugging percentage. Also, you have to look out for Laureano because Ramon is 23 of 63. That's .365 against left-handed pitching.
And the big lefty, Jordan Montgomery's towing the slab and the boogie down on this Sunday afternoon on Father's Day. And you see those numbers, pretty solid across the board. You see only the 3-1 record. We'll give you a little bit more about that. And our pitcher scouting report brought to you by Spectrum Mobile, the most reliable service coast to coast. And he's more than 3-1. He's had 9 no decisions. That leads the American League. But the Yankees team record in those starts is 10-3. He's had a big jump, and that's in regards to his first pitch strike ratio. He's got the 10th best in the AL this year at 66.8% on first pitch strikes. Last year was around 57% for him, so a big jump in that. And stacking the righties, since both teams are doing it versus the lefties today, Olson is the only lefty in either starting lineup.
All right, let's look at the Yankees defense. It's brought to you by GMC. Live like a pro. Brett Gardner's not in there, a lefty against a lefty, so the Yankees have all righties in the lineup, and Duhart, Judge, and Frazier left to right in the outfield. In the infield, we're looking at Urshela, Torres, LeMahieu, and Gittins. That's third to first. And then Gary Sanchez, big home run yesterday. He's behind the plate catching. Jordan Montgomery will give you a feel of what it's like as we're up close and personal on the left-hander's delivery. Not easy. Paul, it's not easy to hit, am I right?
You know what? Big lefties, high release points. was not my favorite thing, Michael. You had to bring up a bad thing right off the get-go, but you are correct. The high release point from a lefty, very tough to pick up from the left-hand side.
Well, I'll bring up a good thing. We want to wish all you dads out there a happy Father's Day. And if I may give you a personal message, and I think I speak for Paul as well, our dads are no longer with us, and we wish that we could thank them and give them a hug today. David and Ryan obviously are lucky that their dads are with them. So happy Father's Day. Dads, you mean the world to your kids, and you set an example for them. So we thank you so much for spending part of your Father's Day watching us here on Pix 11. All right, Mark Canha is about to start. He digs in. Jordan Montgomery is on the mound. And let's do it here in the Bronx. And there's the strike. We're underway. John Tumpane, the home plate umpire. Marvin Hudson at first. Bruce Dreckman at second. And Sean Barber is over at third. Hudson is the crew chief. Well, the bleacher creatures in full voice today as they do roll call. The 1-1. High fly ball. The biggest center fielder in the world drifts back and makes the play for the first out.
Look at him. He's even laughing at your joke, Michael. He likes it. That was a good call there. Largest center field in history.
The big man, 6'7", 282. Not your typical center fielder. So here's Matt Chapman. What an exciting ending to the game yesterday, David. Chapman against Chapman, and 103 got him.
Yeah, that was the fastest pitch recorded this year. And Chapman's fastest pitch in about 3 years.
Foul back. Take a look. Don't blink because it happens quickly. Wow. Must be an incredible feeling of power to throw that hard.
It's actually a little over 103, 103.4.
Wow. We almost rounded that up. One more tenth. Michael, you gave him permission to stare. You say you would throw 103, you're allowed to stare. That was impressive.
You know, I don't know if he's asking me for permission, Paul, but if you're going to stare, you better be strong and you better throw hard.
That's right.
I think there are very few people in baseball that actually want to charge the mound against Aroldis Chapman.
Might want to think twice.
One-two to Matt Chapman. Foul back.
It's all the way back to July 2nd, 2018, to when Chapman threw a pitch just as fast as that. So it's been a while.
So his fastest pitch ever is, I believe, 105.3, which he has tattooed on his wrist. Can he do it again all these years later? He did that with the Cincinnati Reds. Foul, straight back here. And under our booth.
I saw you bounce up there, Michael.
I'm ready today. I feel it.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel it.
I got the angle here on the monitor, too. He was cat quick out of that chair.
Charge it.
If it's got a loop in it, I'll give it a shot. Urshela deep at third, close to the line. But a strikeout nonetheless. And Chapman goes down for the second out.
See, Gary Sanchez says, give it to me out here, and Monty obliges. Little change up, floats right to the outside corner, and you see Chapman from a great camera angle way out in front.
Coney, why do lefties all have good changeups? I can't figure it out. Is it just the arm angle, the being lefted? They all, or they have to you know, neutralize righties. I don't know, but it just seems like lefties across the board have better changeups. You agree?
Yeah, motivation. I mean, you look at the platoon advantage. Left-handed pitchers face many more right-handed batters, so that's a weapon that you just have to have.
High fly ball, deep center field, going back Judge. He's on the track, he's at the wall. He leaps, see ya, into Monument Park from Matt Olson. It's 1-0 A's.
I tell you, we've seen just a short little stint here, and Olson just continues to throw up numbers. First inning home run in this series, but off a tough lefty too, dead center field. Let's just face it, this guy is an absolute stud. Numbers-wise, pretty much in every category up in the top in the American League.
So go figure, both lineups stacked with righties, and the one lefty hits a home run. First extra base hit by a lefty against Montgomery this year.
First pitch fastball, middle, and Olson knows. If I see that early, I'm swinging, and he does.
Coney, did you ever agree with the, a lot of managers would say, I don't want to put a whole right-handed lineup against a lefty because they can get in a groove and never have to change anything. I mean, did it affect you when you face 5 or 6 lefties in a row where you wouldn't get in a groove thrown to them?
I can understand, if you look at the big sample size and the numbers and, righty, lefty, and the matchups. But for me, the toughest lineups were the more diverse lineups. Different styles, a guy who was very aggressive, and the next hitter was very patient. And righty, lefty kind of bothered me more.
Right.
1-2. 2-2. 20th home run for Olson, 53 ribbies. High fly ball, left field. Moving over is Andujar, and he makes the play, moving toward the corner for the final out. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left. A's won, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Shop, feed the moment. Now that's the only team named the Astros that would say go Yankees, but a good job by the kids from Trumbull, Connecticut. Outstanding. Hope they have a great Father's Day. And on the mound for the A's is Sean Manaea.
It's been a pretty good year for Sean Manaea, as he is their ace, the best pitcher, and they've got a good pitching staff. The 15th start on the year, almost halfway there for him. 81 in the third innings and only 19 walks. And give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by Spectrum Mobile. And when you look at him, he really is the ace. And the 2.99 ERA is 8th in the AL. He's also top 10 home runs per 9 and walk rate. Coming in on a roll, just 3 runs in his last 32 in the third innings and going the distance. He's got a couple of complete game shutouts this year, although one of them was a 7-inning Johnson, but nonetheless, 2 CG shutouts.
And he deals to DJ LeMahieu a strike. So Manaea is 29 years old, from Wanata, Indiana. He calls it a one-stoplight town. And this is his 6th big league season. Former first-round pick by Kansas City out of 2013. And he ended up going to the A's in the Ben Zobrist deal. And that was a good deal for the Royals, even though Manaea has become a star, because Zobrist helped the Royals win a World Series. Has a no-hitter in his resume. Flirted with another one in May against the Rays, 6 outs away, but Mike Brosseau, who was his high school teammate, broke it up with a leadoff double.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute.
As good as he is, he has had some injuries, had a torn labrum, coming back from that a few years ago. But you know what? He is a stud, as Coney said in the scouting report. And good sinker, just a good hard throwing sidearm lefty. Always got to have one of those in your rotation, right, Coney?
Yeah, and big league moss, too. I mean,
yeah, he does.
That is a head of hair.
And the lefty deals. Fouled away. Take a look at the A's defense. It's brought to you by Optimum. As we tell you all the time, Laureano can get it with anybody, and he has a great arm. As the outfield for the A's, Garcia behind the plate today. First look at him. Infield, Chapman, Andrus, Lowry, and Olsen third to first, with Manaea on the mound. 2-2. Ground ball to Lowry. 1 away. Now let's look at the keys to the game. They're brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com.
Well, you mentioned it, Michael. Be the first, and this is pretty impressive that the A's have not lost a road series all year. 8-0-1 and all 9 combined. And, you know, we were on a music kick yesterday, so I just went with The Climb. You know, last Tuesday, they were down 9 games Tuesday morning, now only 5.5. So they are picking up games in the East, but nobody's going away. This is going to be a consistent division all year. And last but least, Pops rock, Michael. Happy Father's Day to everybody. One of these are great days to go out, have a good day, go home with your kids. Gives you a little more incentive.
I got a backdoor catch, a backyard catch waiting for me after the game.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. All signed up.
Nice. Remember those days.
Won't be long.
Michael, you just jump in.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have to squat down and get some gear on. Get the shin guards.
Yeah, wait till Charlie starts getting a 90-mile-an-hour sinker. Then it's not so much fun anymore.
Aaron Judge swings and misses. 0-2, or should I say 2 outs now for the Yankees, and that'll bring up Sanchez.
Again, with that slight uppercut, this is a pitch that can give Aaron Judge some problems, especially if it's got something on it. Manaea has no problem. High fastball just outside of the strike zone. Michael, you didn't jump in on my scouting report. So who was my artist from The Climb? Come on, jump in.
You know what? I don't know. Do you know, David?
Oh, come on now.
The Climb.
You better text Callie. I guarantee she'll know. It's kind of their generation.
I think I have it, Michael.
All right. What is it, Ryan?
I think it's Miley Cyrus.
Oh, right on board. See that?
Yeah.
See the younger fellas just jumped up with that.
What's happened to this guy, David? Dua Lipa, the baby, Miley Cyrus. What is happening?
Way too much time on my hands down here, huh? Hey, when you're locked in a basement, a lot of things go through your mind. You know that?
Now, if you go with Wrecking Ball, I might know. I've never heard The Climb.
It's impressive. He's coming to play nowadays.
I'd pay to see him at a Miley Cyrus concert. Pay.
You know what, Michael? I hate to say it. I've been there.
Really?
I have been there. Oh, yeah. I had to take my daughter. I could get tickets, so I had to go with her. We actually met Miley Cyrus. That's how big that was.
Now, is this when she was Hannah Montana, or had she become Miley Cyrus?
She was in concert as Miley Cyrus, so yes, she was big time. I also saw Taylor Swift, too, in concert, so these are the things you're going to have to do for your daughter, Michael. Just get ready.
Wow. I thought Teletubbies was the big sacrifice.
Boy, I haven't seen those in years.
And Paw Patrol in concert. That's a blast.
Mm-hmm.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on Gary Sanchez. Manaea deals. Lined into right center field. A bullet base hit. That splits the outfielders, and it goes to the wall. Sanchez going for 2. He will make it. It's a 2-out double for the red-hot Gary Sanchez.
But Ted said yesterday that I think Gary Sanchez will kind of feel like it's a pat on the back to be hitting in the 3-hole, and this is an absolute piece of work right here. This is what you saw in Gary Sanchez right when he came up. See, behind the ball, he is so strong when he hits to the other way. And I tell you what, he has got it going right now.
All right, so the tying run in scoring position for Giancarlo Stanton. Yankees have already played 70 games. This is their 71st game. It's gone by in an eye blink. And there's a strike. Record 37 and 33. And Paul mentioned how the Yankees have shaved games off the lead at the top of the AL East, but now the leader has changed. The Red Sox have moved ahead of Tampa Bay, and the Rays have lost 5 in a row. They lost in extra innings last night in Seattle, so a little bit of a drop for them. The Red Sox are playing well, and the Yankees now are just 5 back in the loss column, and they were 9 back a couple of days ago. Strike 3. Stanton down looking. He does not like the call by John Tumpain. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 1 at the stadium. It's 1-0 A's. On Father's Day, I look at my dad in his younger days, Charles K. Great guy. Miss him every single day. Great advice. A little bit of a disciplinarian, which I appreciated, but never, ever discouraged me when 9-year-old me said, I want to be the Yankee announcer. Both he and my mom said, okay, but, have a backup plan just in case. I miss him every day, and I wish I could wish him a happy Father's Day, but I know he's watching.
Native of the Bronx, right?
Yes, yep, absolutely. So we go to the second inning. It is 1-0 in favor of the A's, and Jed Lowry takes a strike from Montgomery. 0-1. Fouled away, 0-2. Still 0-2. It'll be Lowry, Pinder, and Murphy in the second. Olsen home run is the run on the board, and Olsen has enjoyed his weekend in New York. 5 for 11, 2 home runs and 4 ribbies in this series so far.
Lowry making things difficult here. Monty continues to try to put him out inside, and he keeps fouling it off his foot. One of those bats that's got to drive a pitcher crazy. You can't put him away. You can't get him out.
Upstairs, 1-2. Yankees have a day off tomorrow, and then the Kansas City Royals come into town. Two and 2.
A lot of Mondays off.
Yeah.
Really, the first couple of months, especially July.
I'll tell you what, Coney, last week, Michael and I, we did the Philadelphia series, and I said, I don't ever remember, minor leagues or major leagues, we had a Friday night off. I don't ever remember that happening. I know it happens once in a while now because of the interleague and the travel and things like that, but can you recall in your major league career or minor league career where you didn't play on a Friday night?
No, I really can't. I mean, if that would have happened to us back in the 90s, I'd have to go get David Wells out of Vegas.
Give him just a reason, an extra 24 hours, huh?
Hit sharply and grabbed by Urshela. 1 away. I always wondered if the schedule was made up. I want to get you guys' take on this. And every Monday was an off day, but you had to play a doubleheader, a split doubleheader every day. Would players go for it? Not every day, but once a week. Because that would be 26 days off during the season.
Split doubleheader?
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up doubleheader maybe, yes.
Right.
Yeah, I would love to play, especially now when you're playing the 7 inning, to play a doubleheader and know that you have the Monday off. And I think because of the off day, you could get your star players, to play 14 innings. I don't think that you would give them, necessarily a day off every single time he played a doubleheader.
I understand the business of baseball and the gates and that side of it, and certainly I'm sympathetic to it, but a split doubleheader is so tough on the players.
Tell you one thing, the Nationals did something yesterday that I found extraordinarily gutsy. They had a doubleheader against the Mets, and they made it a split doubleheader. And since all doubleheaders now are 7-inning games, they had a split doubleheader with different admission, and both of the games were 7 innings. So you're making people pay for a game, a 7-inning game, one, and then you make them leave and come back. I was shocked at that, David.
Yes, I agree. Or don't agree with it, rather,
right.
Just to be clear.
Here's Sean Murphy. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
Sean Murphy getting the day off from catching and DHing, but if you break down his numbers, he is basically what this day and age of baseball is. I mean, he comes into the game hitting .217, but he does have good production. He got 8 home runs and 35 RBIs, so it's he puts up numbers with a low average.
Paul, if you want to see the poster child for what you're talking about, look at Yasmani Grandal of the White Sox. I mean, he's hitting in the mid-100s, and they're considering that he could make the All-Star game. Because his other numbers, his analytic numbers, are actually very good. Drives and runs. Swing and a miss. Murphy down on strikes. The A's go down in order. We go to the bottom of the second.
Well, I tell you what, it is Father's Day, and that guy on the left, he was my idol. He was just a tough guy. Grew up in Nebraska, played minor league baseball, coached me all the way through Little League, all the way up until I got into the minor leagues. And the one on the right, I always dreamed about, right when I got to the big leagues, when you got to the family day, to have my own out there. So that was an old picture of Aaron, my middle son, at family day in Yankee Stadium. The bad news in that picture, Michael, is Aaron's 28 now.
Yeah, can't hold him like that.
News.
Yeah, he can't hold him like that anymore. Your dad, having been a ball player, Paul, must have been a blast because he was around to see your success.
Unbelievable. I mean, it just, and Coney, I guarantee you know the same thing. You could go to a stadium, 50,000 people, and you knew who your father was. And it just, I don't know who got more excited, me or him, in big games. It was just a dream come true for me. One of those good stories.
How about that glove your dad had?
Yeah, I wish I had it, to tell you the truth. That was pretty cool. And he was part of that generation that never complained, but a lot of people in his same boat in the minor leagues, then they give up their careers, they go to the service, and by the time they come back, basically careers are over. But never complain about it? No, absolutely not.
What position did he play, Paul?
He was a pitcher, left-handed pitcher. Like I said, grew up in Nebraska in the old Dust Bowl. That generation's just a little tougher than we are, Michael. It's just the way it is.
The greatest generation, the 0-2, as Torres swings and misses. 3 strikeouts for Minaya so far.
Again, you can see Minaya. He does have life on that fastball up out of the strike zone. And Coney, you mentioned how well the Yankees do, when Montgomery is pitching. And if you take 2, but the A's are 11-3 in his start. So, they know when he's on the hill that it's time to win.
He's got the art of elevating his fastball just above the zone. He's got that down very well.
Urshela fouls it away. Well, the A's are 11-3 as a team when Minaya pitches. Aaron Savali of the Indians, same deal. And then Jordan Montgomery, the Yankees are 10-3 when he pitches. And that's a minimum of 12 starts. Best team record for starters. And that's what it all comes down to. And the way baseball's played right now, they don't care if the starter gets a win, but if the team gets a win when you start, that's something they take notice of.
Something that rate has steadily dropped over the years. If you think about it, starters getting less decisions, more no decisions in the rotations. This year, just 62% of major league starts get a decision. It's up from 58 last year, but pretty close to 62% of starters get decisions in 2019. And really, you got to go back to 1976 before that rate was 75% or higher. So it's steadily dropped since the late 70s.
Driven the other way and out of play.
Because I didn't hear at all, and I'd like to ask Ryan if did Gio Urshela mention or talk about the broken bat that the sliver of wood went in, and what happened?
He did. It was a piece of his bat, and it hit him in the eye, Paul. It did not stay in the eye, though. So they went down and looked at it to clean it up, but it had popped out of the eye.
Swing and a miss. Urshela down on strikes. Well, for an hour of scores, highlights, interviews, and insight, tune in tonight at 11 for Sports Nation right here on Pix 11, New York's very own.
So he went down and got some literal eye wash, not figuratively speaking eye wash.
Not your kind that you like to point out, David. No, slightly different eye wash in this case.
There's Miguel Andujar. He had yesterday off. Hey, Paul, James Smythe dug out some numbers. Your dad won an Appalachian League title with Kingsport in 1945, and he was 14-5 with a 2.89 ERA.
See that?
Dealing.
Now I don't feel so bad about him striking me out in the backyard in a tennis ball. Straight home from the backhoe. He'd grab a tennis ball and still strike you out. I feel much better about my lifetime average off Dad now.
Oh and 2 on Andujar. Outside, 1 and 2. One nothing A's on the Olsen home run. Grounded softly to third. Chapman with the short hop. And a beautiful scoop by Olsen for the final out. Yankees go down in order against Manaea. We'll go to the third inning. It's 1-0 A's. Explain how this works, Michael.
Well, the idea that we thought of 25 years ago was keep Dad in the game. Come out to the ballpark, come out to Yankee Stadium, remind your friend, your neighbor, your dad, your grandfather to get that simple blood test for prostate cancer. And that was 25 years ago.
How much money have you raised in 25 years, Michael?
$80 million, and we've had matches 10-1 for $800 million. And the statistics, you know, baseball is a game of statistics today, and there's now 3.7 million men. They're going to enjoy this Father's Day today with their family and friends.
HomeRunChallenge.org. That's how you can contribute and donate. And how does it work? It's $40,000 or $50,000 for every Yankee home run and $25,000 for an A home run, right?
That is correct. And since we started that, there's been 15 new drugs approved, 16 if I include what looks going to happen in the next month. And a man today has a 99% chance of living 5 years and longer, who's been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and 90% of everyone that were diagnosed with prostate cancer will not die from prostate cancer today. So it's been, the Yankees have made quite a contribution to the families of America over the last 25 years. And I have so many memories of great games in Yankee Stadium.
Well, it's amazing, and you always get my hope up every year because you say that we are very close with all the research, and not just prostate cancer, to one day ridding the world of the scourge of cancer.
That is correct. And there's a new technology in this last year, a series of companies, one was Grail and others, who now have a simple blood test. You used to be able to test prostate cancer, but this simple blood test will now detect at a very, very early stage 50 different cancers.
That one's popped up as Gleyber Torres will make the catch to retire Elvis Andrus.
So I'm not wearing my Yankee hat, my treasured Yankee hat from the game in London. Now, did you go to London for that game?
No, unfortunately, Yes didn't broadcast those games. It was a national game on Fox. I would have loved to have gone.
But one of the things, message for Father's Day today and for everyone, is the enormous advances we've had in medical research that we saw in 9 months. The vaccine, Moderna, was only 9 weeks between the DNA of the vaccine and putting it into humans last March of 2020. So it's amazing testimony to medical research, and these new tests that will diagnose cancer when there's just a few cells in your blood, long before anything has metastasized, hold enormous promise. And the drugs that we've raised money for in the Home Run Challenge over the last 25 years now affect 73 other forms of cancer, not just prostate cancer.
Yeah, Michael, David Cohn here. Congratulations on another successful year, campaign, all the success. You know, something you said, I think bears repeating, that the blood test can now, you can detect 50 other types of cancers. And do you foresee in the future maybe a vaccine for cancer?
There'll be, I think, vaccines. There's another technology called focused ultrasound that has the potential on non-invasive surgery that you just might clean out your body. So you go to the dentist and have your teeth cleaned. The various technologies that are coming today, these mutations that occur in your cells that lead to cancer, there's a promise today that you'll be like going to the doctor, but in this case, the dentist, a doctor that cleans out your body with focused ultrasound. And one of the examples that was used here is they identified pancreatic cancer in stage 1 and then treated it. Unfortunately, there was not really a test for pancreatic cancer. So almost all pancreatic cancer was diagnosed in stage 4, which is why it was so fatal.
And now you can diagnose it in phase 1?
That is correct. You will diagnose it at the very beginning when it's the easiest to deal with. And I would say to you, the other thing we've talked about for 25 years that has become a reality is your microbiome based on what you eat and drink. And now you have patients that are treated where you have one patient that's had a good response, and I'll let this pitch go by. And so if you've had a really good response from an agent against cancer, we can give your microbiome to another person. And it's a very simple procedure today. And so we now, and I see the little ribbon on the hat. Great to see that ribbon on the hat and the leggings today. But this program, and the Yankees have been the key, has created awareness throughout the entire country in 25 years. And when we started this 25 years ago, you heard a person, gosh, Joe was diagnosed with cancer, and they think, well, it's a life sentence. Today, we're between 15, maybe as many as 20 million Americans living normal lives who've had cancer. 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women, so it's a broad group, but the same technology that's brought the vaccines to the COVID-19 is being deployed and has been deployed in cancer research.
Just amazing, amazing news. And you know, Michael, you went through a terrible ordeal battling cancer, and I guess if the advances that we have now were back then, it would not have been as much of an ordeal, right?
Well, when they told me I had 12 to 18 months to live in 93, they would have never told me that. And if a person in my situation and was diagnosed today, they would tell you you shouldn't have a normal life, that your life will not be cut short because you have cancer. And this is a pretty emotional day for me, because when I was diagnosed, our 3 kids were younger, just like Mr. Cohen's kid. And you always wonder when you're a cancer patient, are you going to see your kids grow up? Are you going to see them get married? Are you going to live long enough that you might have grandchildren? And today, all 3 of our children are married, healthy, and we have 10 grandchildren, and we've had all 10 at the ballpark. So it's quite a blessing that my wife Lori and I had with modern medical technology.
Two-way, you know, one thing that we should amplify, Michael, and you always do when you talk with us, you've got to get the test every single year, and this way, if you catch it early, it is something that can be handled. Am I right?
That is, well, it's going to be handled now with the 15 drugs that have been approved. And if you failed surgery and you failed radiation and you failed hormones, today, most of the people are in remission due to drugs such as abiraterone and others. And one of the other things I wanted to point out today that started right there in New York with the Home Run Challenge is we launched this $50 million program with the VA. So if you served the country and you went into the VA, you would not only be treated in the VA there in New York, but at Columbia and NYU and other cancer centers, you would be enrolled. And in 4 years, we've reduced the death rate for African American men by 50%. So the only place in America today that African Americans have the same death rate as the general population is in the VA. And so we've seen this system work in the last 4 years, and we're now going to focus on the same therapies we're using for veterans for everyone in America.
Matt Chapman at the plate against Jordan Montgomery, and a throw over to first. You must be, I mean, not to ask you to pat yourself on the back, but you must be incredibly proud of the work you've done over these years. $800 million is a staggering figure, and a lot of research obviously cost a lot of money. So I'm sure in quiet moments you must sit back and go, this is my legacy. This is something that I did that's just outstanding.
Well, 500 baseball games, 1,000 television and radio shows, but nothing compares at the individual level of 3.7 million men enjoying today as healthy Americans. Nothing compares with the ability here to reduce the death rate for African American men by 50%. They have the highest death rate in the world. And on an individual basis, I'm one of those 3.7 million. And having your children, get married, having grandchildren, seeing them grow up, it's the wish of everyone. And that is the promise of modern science and technology today, that hopefully we will relegate cancer to the history books, and my grandchildren, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren, really no one will be worried about whether cancer is going to shorten their life or not. It might be a disease, it'll be a chronic disease, or a disease that is easily treatable. And that is really one of the great strengths of this country, and maybe one of our greatest assets.
Well, that one's back to the wall, and Clint Frazier is there, and that will do it. As Olsen was flirting with his second home run. Michael, happy Father's Day. Thank you for the work that you've done. HomeRunChallenge.org, and we wish you luck, and we wish you a lot of home runs.
Good health to you and everyone, and go Yankees.
Thank you, Michael. We'll be back in a moment.
Well, there is my father, Paul O'Neill, and you told your story, and it's similar to mine. Eddie Mac Cohn was my coach. And Dad, he worked a graveyard shift at a meat packing plant, and every time he got home, Michael, he was ready to play catch with me. So, love you, Dad, and he's always watching. You're the best.
Pitch to Gittins is outside 1-1. It's amazing. He watches every game, right?
Yeah, he does. He does. And, He is one of those types of baseball nuts. You know, the coach, he played at amateur level. Taught me how to pitch. Took me in the backyard. He told me the most important lesson I probably ever learned from any pitching coach anywhere. And that is less is more sometimes. You know, learn how to throw it where you're trying to throw it. Develop your control first.
I guess we owe Ed a thank you then, Coney, because you helped us win some World Series by learning these lessons young. So, Ed, I appreciate you sending our son your way, helping us win some World Series.
Well, you know, Charlie O'Neill and Ed Cohn responsible for 10 championships in a way.
Who's counting, though, right?
I am. Swing and a miss. Gittins down on strikes. And Mania looks good.
Well, I tell you one thing. Next time they want to do a home run challenge, I think we want to keep Mania out of the order because he's going to be tough. And so far, so good today. Cody, you talked about it's been pretty much all year. You see that kind of a sidearm delivery. You should get a good look from the right side, but power stuff.
So here's Clint Frazier, a couple of doubles in yesterday's game, gets him another start today. Pitches high. Two and 0.
Pretty glaring split, though, when I look kind of the numbers at Mania this year. Left-handers 127, right-handers over 300 at 301. His career's a little bit better than that, but so far this year, right-handers have hit extremely well against him. Left-handers, no chance.
Two and 2. Swing and a miss. Now that's 6 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings for Mania.
Again, he's almost pitching backwards where he gets ahead with off-speed stuff and then finishes people off with fastballs, either up out of the strike zone or just by you, like he did Frazier right there. But just good arm, good power arm.
Here is DJ LeMahieu. That one is lined into left center field. It's a base hit. It's going to split the outfielders and go to the wall. LeMahieu will stop at second with a 2-out double.
The great hitters make great adjustments. This ball, fastball out over the plate, and he just hammers it like Gary Sanchez the inning before, though. 2 outs. He got a 2-out opportunity, but very tough to score off a good pitcher trying to string together hits.
So here's Aaron Judge. Judge struck out in the first inning. And there's a strike. Judge sporting some beautiful Father's Day blue spikes. All the arm sleeves and the sweatbands. And Father's Day blue as well. It says Dad on the tongue of the spike. 0-2.
It's part of the deception, Paul. You mentioned about, you know, Mania and his release point. It's almost like he can get under the ball and ride the ball up in the zone, and that makes it very deceptive. When you see a lower 3/4 delivery, you're looking for that sink. And he can vary. He can sort of vary the vertical movement on his pitches.
One and two.
Remember with the Mets, Coney, we've talked about it numerous times. It was Sid Fernandez that kind of had that underneath the ball, the ability to kind of ride the ball up, had all kinds of trouble trying to hit him. And you would think to yourself, why? It's just a high fastball, but it would continue that height. And you're right, you just couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah, there's kind of a contradiction of his, in terms, so to speak, of his release point. What you're looking for and what you get are two different things.
Gary Sanchez on deck. 2-2 count on Judge. Runner at second. It's 1-0 A's. Bottom of the third inning at the stadium on Father's Day. Swing and a miss. Got it by him at 96 miles an hour. 7 strikeouts through 3 innings. Yankee strand 1.
Well, as our Father's Day wishes continue, I got to wish a big happy Father's Day to my dad, Peter, who really taught me the game of baseball, fostered my love of sports. We spent many an afternoon and evening in the Bronx watching the Yankees together, some of my best memories with Dad. And my dad just would drop wisdom bomb after wisdom bomb. He was big in quotes and always taught me my work ethic, and then also, guys, really prioritized fun in the midst of that. And I could not be more grateful to have the amazing dad that I do.
I've had a lot of dealings with Peter Rucco. What a great guy. I can see where Ryan gets it.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm kind of liking this broadcast, Michael. I'm getting some really good stories about good fathers, and the only problem, we're going to run out of ammo here. Who else we got in line for the next 4 or 5 innings?
Well, you know what? We should send out happy Father's Day wishes to Meredith's dad, Dan, who watches every single game. And Meredith is off today and this weekend, but she calls him Disco, and Disco's a great dad, so I know he watches all the games. So happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Morakovitz. Ground ball is short, backhanded by Torres against Laureano.
Get a well-pitched game, Coney. It's amazing how much time you have to, to kind of fill in. There's nothing to talk about offensively. That just, you don't want to go over the same things over and over about how great a pitch this was or that, but you've got a well-pitched game going here in the top of the fourth.
Both pitchers throw a lot of strikes. Both pitchers tend to throw a lot of first pitch strikes. I mentioned coming into this game in that particular category, just first pitch strikes, strike 1. Jordan Montgomery's 10th best in the American League, and Sean Manaea's the 30th, so top 30. Both of them well over 60%. As much as pitching coaches preach that, you would think, what, it's still kind of hard to do, throwing that strike 1. It's a hard thing to do because there's a hitter with a bat in the box. And sometimes they take a lash at that first pitch strike if you lay it in there.
Did he go? No, he did not. 2-2 on Lowry.
Hey, Coney, to that point, I mean, over the course of history, there are certain guys. Like Wade Boggs, for instance, as great a hitter as he was, he always took the first pitch, strike or not. He didn't care. Can you think of guys, in your career that you knew you could get strike 1 with without hesitation of throwing a fastball down the middle?
Yes, that's the first thing I wanted to know was who would spot you a strike. Wade Boggs certainly up in that category. I didn't face Joe Mauer, but he was perennially up in that category. So get another look at this pitch. Monty's got good spin on his breaking stuff today. The curveball, and this is the slider, and it's a strike in the box until it's a not. And that's the key. It looked like a strike for a long time.
Fly ball, right center, going back. Judge still back, and he'll make the play right against the wall to retire Pinder for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning as the A's go down in order. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Gary Sanchez will lead it off. We go to the bottom of the 4th. A's lead 1-0, and Gary Sanchez will lead off against Sean Manaea, which brings us to Who's Hot, brought to you by the new S-Class from Mercedes-Benz. He's hot. Last 20 games, .339, 6 homers, 12 ribbies, and OPS of 1.115. And he had a double in the first inning, a blistering double into right center field.
Yeah, we went over yesterday some of the mechanics that he's changed. His lower half a little more spread out, far smaller leg kick. He's so strong that he's one of those guys that really drives the ball with his legs. Popped up there. Chapman makes an easy play, but Gary Sanchez a much tougher out. Much more short to the ball. Just looks like he's going to be on a roll here for a while.
And what a comfortable spot to be in the lineup between Judge and Stanton. You know, you're going to see pitches, so he has earned his way moving up in that lineup to number 3.
Different looking lineup when he's hitting well and up in that 3 hole.
Here's Stanton. Stanton struck out looking in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Last 13 games for Giancarlo, he's hitting .310, 4 homers and 12 ribbies and 8 walks. High fly ball right field. Pinder coming on near the line, puts it away. 2 outs. Seven strikeouts, no walks for Manaea.
Looking at pitchers like Manaea, who, you know, really get it going. And to me, watching the monitor, looked like you're totally in control of the lineup, of your pitches. I just wonder when you're going through this as a pitcher, do you feel that in control of a lineup, or is it, you know, every single pitch it could change?
Well, if you know, when you get on top of something in a style and it's working, the best thing to do is just to stay with it, and that's what we're seeing with Manaea. I mean, basically 2 pitches. That's all he's throwing: fastball, changeup. You know, and that's pretty rare for a starting pitcher, right? I mean, he's thrown up to now. He's got 57 pitches total, 40 strikes. But 68% fastballs, 32% changeups.
Two and 1 on Torres.
It's a really simple formula, and you know that's the key to some things. Sometimes we tend to make it more complicated than it has to be, both with pitching and hitting.
Two and 2. Labor struck out in the second inning. And the big lefty deals. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8 for Manaea as the Yankees go down in order, and 10 straight Yankees retired by Manaea. Brought to you by Wind Creek Bethlehem. Today's third base coaches, Phil Nevin and Mark Kotze, both won the Golden Spikes Award, which is the best amateur player. What 3 former Yankee players also won the award? Wow.
Sorry, boys, I'm out. I got no clue on this one.
I was about to hand it off for you. I was giving this one to you. All right, one is a teammate of yours. Another one hit a home run for me. That's the clue.
I got that. I remember that story. The guy that hit a home run for you, Michael, I think, was sitting like in Malibu on the porch or the deck and got a coaching job. Is that right?
A managing job, yes. And now He's back at the college where he won the Golden Spikes Award as an assistant coach.
Okay. Thank goodness for the hint. At least I'm on track for one of them.
Oh, well, thank you. That is really nice. Very cool.
Is that Charlie behind the sign? Did he bring that in for you?
No, they made a sign at home, but they're not at the game today. High fly ball. Left field. And Duhar makes the play to retire Murphy. One away. We are pre-K grads. Well, congratulations. And people, I mean, they're starting to get the clue. You know, you have a sign with my name on it or David or Paul's, you're probably going to get on TV.
Shameless.
In Minnesota all those years, you remember this, David. Bert Blyleven. You know, people would just have signs, "Circle me, Bert." You know, he had the telestrator, and he would just put a circle around him. That became a big thing.
One thing I really miss down here in the basement, I don't have the telestrator anymore. I can't draw little pictures and show things. Might be better for the audience, but I kind of miss it.
You know what I miss is the occasional day when you didn't have the telestrator and you were drawing on the TV up here.
Exactly. Trying to hit it, why it wouldn't work. I do the same thing on the iPad. The thing never works for me.
Swing and a miss. Boy, Montgomery looks sharp as Andrus strikes out, 2 away.
It's been good. Another good changeup, Paul, right here.
Yeah, both lefties really featuring that changeup, and you talked about it, Coney, with the all right-handed lineups. That is the out pitch. Once you set them up, a good changeup fading away, very effective to right-handed hitters.
You've told me, David, that you couldn't master the change, right?
I couldn't. I was more of a split finger fastball guy, and once I had some success with it, I just stayed with it. Monty's always had the formula, and by the formula I mean for a left-handed pitcher, and Paul mentioned this earlier, you get into a groove facing all right-handed batters. So the formula is hard in, soft away, and he's established inside. Just broke another bat here, as you see the kid get the foul ball. The hitter's going to get another bat right now. That's just great, those shots. We missed those shots right there more than anything, I think, over the last year and a half. But you're right, Paulie. Monty's got the formula. He's in the groove. It's established his breaking ball for strikes. Cutters and fastballs in, and then changeups away to finish. There's a rhythm.
You were talking about the split finger, and it is a form of a changeup. The only thing that drove me crazy about a split finger was you could make that thing go both ways. It could make it go away from me or make it go in. And where the changeup usually fades away, it's a one movement pitch. So I just want to let you know, years later, Coney, that split finger drove me nuts, all right?
Children on their way to the candy store were caught in the crossfire of a violent attack perpetrated in broad daylight. Miraculously, neither child was physically harmed. And this afternoon, the children, their sister, and their parents, Dorana Luna and Christian Torbio, are guests of the Yankees who stand with them. And we salute New Yorkers and those around the country who want to see a safe and better future. The kids, Mia and Christian, are okay, and it just breaks your heart that kids can't walk to the candy store and not be afraid of something like this happening. So nice of the Yankees to bring the family here to enjoy the game, but just such a scary story.
With a happy ending today here at the game.
Yes. Urshela fouls it away. 0-2 count. is 0-2, and the hit total each with 2. And the difference in the game is the Matt Olson home run in the first inning. That's it. Battle of southpaws, and they both pitched very, very well. Another strikeout for Minaya. 9 strikeouts and no walks.
Tell you, when you can throw mid-90s and locate it up and down and a good changeup, it makes pitching look extremely easy. And he is just mowing through this Yankee lineup to this point.
Talk about hitting the glove right to the target.
9 strikeouts, 2 fly balls, 2 groundouts. Andujar hit one of the groundouts. He grounded to third. Fouls one off. How about this in the 4th inning? Both pitchers, Minaya and Montgomery, 9 pitch innings.
Kind of a classic example of 2 left-handers today, and all the talk today of power pitchers, high velocity, spider tack, spin rates. These guys are doing it with guile and location.
1-2 on Andujar.
There's nothing really above average other than the deception part. The average Major League fastball nowadays is about 94 miles an hour, and both of these pitchers are occasionally touch that mark. The release point, Montgomery right over the top, Minaya a different release point, lower. But both of them good control, good deception, and mixing it up. We talked about that in yesterday's game, you know, the hero of the game, Nestor Cortez. Nothing overpowering about his stuff, but fun to watch.
Popped up. It's in the infield. Who's going to get it? The Gold Glover gets it. Chapman puts it away. Well, today's pitching matchup is brought to you by Hyundai. The longer you look, the more there is to like, and there's a lot to like about both of these performances. 2 hits by Montgomery in 5 innings. He has 6 strikeouts and 1 walk, and allowed the 1 run. 2 outs into the 5th inning, 2 hits against Minaya, 9 strikeouts and no walks, and his career high is 10 strikeouts, which he's done 4 times. Well, since the double by Sanchez in the first, Minaya has allowed just 1 base runner, the double by LeMahieu in the 3rd. He's been that good. Big cut by Gittins, 0-2.
Just right down the middle and swung right through it.
1-2. One, 2, foul back. Swing and a miss. There's 10 strikeouts, matching a career high for Minaya through 5. 1-0 A's. David Cone sort of day. We have a pitcher's duel here in the Bronx. Minaya and Montgomery. Couple of M's, dealing K's. dealing zeros, making it work. Fastballs, changeups, domination in the Bronx through 5. It's A's 1, Yankees nothing.
On to the 6th inning. Very similar afternoon for both pitchers.
Now we go to the 6th and the top of the A's lineup. Mark Canha will start it off. He's 0 for 2.
M&M boys, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Today out here.
But these M&M boys are keeping home runs from being hit except for one, and that's the difference in the game right now.
But the M&M boy, was that Kevin Moss and Mattingly? Is that what it was?
I think it was Maris and Mantle.
Just checking. Just checking to see if you're on your toes, Michael.
Paul, I got to tell you, I know you're very comfortable in Studio 21, but today is the first day. Sit in the booth, and there's a smell of bacon coming from somewhere. Am I right, David? You smell it?
Oh, they fired it up. Huh?
Oh.
It's going to get me ready. You know, I got a big deck party after the game. I will fire up the grill today in Cincy, just for fun. Just to know that I can still do it, you know?
Absolutely.
A little rusty. You're jokingly talking about Mattingly. I was looking in the game notes today, Michael. This was, you know, a happy day for Yankee fans and probably a sad day for you. This was the day Bobby Mercer retired, and they replaced him with Don Mattingly, right?
Yeah, they had Bobby retire, and then Donnie was called up from the minors. He'd gone back and forth, but this was the time that it stuck. And there's a great story behind it, Paul. I guess the Yankees were on the road, and George Steinbrenner called up Bobby Mercer's room. He said, yeah, we're thinking about calling up the kid Mattingly, and I want you to retire to make room for him, and I'm offering you a move to the broadcast booth. And Bobby said, what? You know, he just took him out of nowhere. And he goes, you have 15 minutes to make up your mind. I'll call you back.
And counting.
Yeah. And Bobby said, what, 15? And he said, I'll call you back. And that was it. And Bobby, I guess, called up Kay, his wife. And you know what? It was a great move for Bobby. And he stayed in the broadcast booth and was great and was beloved by fans as both a player and a broadcaster. And I wonder what happened to that guy Mattingly.
Well, he's not in the broadcast booth yet, but he's still out on the field.
Yes, he is. So a walk to Canha. Second walk by Montgomery. And Chapman hits one deep to center field. Going back is Judge. He's on the track. He's at the wall, and he makes the play. As Canha heads back to first. Using up all of the Bronx real estate to haul that in at the 408 mark.
You know what? We talk about how good an outfielder Aaron Judge is. That's in right field. I mean, Aaron Judge is in center field. This is not an easy thing. You see, he turned the wrong way, still got back, made it look fairly easy. But you know what? Aaron Judge is so athletic, and all that he is known for is how far he hits the baseball. There was one time that I got stuck in Cincinnati out in center field, and believe me, it is a huge adjustment if you're a natural right fielder, but he made it look easy.
Matt Olson takes inside 1-0. So a home run by Olson in the first, and then almost connected for another in the third, but run down by Frazier at the wall and right. 2-0.
You know, you mentioned, Michael, the Yankees playing 71 games. You're kind of creeping up on the halfway point quicker than you think. And you get a Matt Olson. You mentioned that first home run in the first inning. 20 home runs on June 20 is pretty good number.
His numbers all way up and down or something. I mean, he's in the AL leads of everything. Talked about it coming into this series. Might be his first All-Star bid, and I mean, he's one of those players you don't know a lot about because he's out in Oakland, California, but he can do a lot of things for you offensively.
And defensively, his teammate Matt Chapman campaigning for him to make his first All-Star team. And Chris Bassett, who we saw pitch earlier in the series, said it's going to be fun who they decide to have play first for the American League, Matt Olson or Vlad Guerrero. And as great as Olson's numbers are, Guerrero's are better. But just make the team would be an honor.
He deserves it. And he had a pretty good 3-0 hack there at a fastball right there.
Hey, push your New York Yankees to the top this summer with the 2021 Google MLB All-Star Ballot. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote and on Google by searching for your favorite players to send them to Colorado. Through the vacated hole against the shift. He did it yesterday. He does it again today. A base hit for Olson as Canha moves to second.
Yeah, yesterday it cost the Yankees a couple runs. He drove in a couple going the other way. But again, he does the same thing, especially against lefties. It is so easy to stay inside the ball and just hit it the other way. I just love to see this type of hitting because it'll do away with the shift.
And it does away with Jordan Montgomery. So after 85 pitches, Montgomery is lifted. The Yankees will go to their strong bullpen. It's 1-0 A's. Yankees baseball is brought to you by Aruga's Grill in Howell in East Brunswick, New Jersey, with more than 40 tap beers and the best wings you ever tasted. And by Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, that's where we are. Jordan Montgomery, responsible for the runners on first and second. That's his line so far, 85 pitches, and the Yankees turn to Jonathan Loaizaga, and he deals up and into Laureano. Boy, it's been fun to watch this guy pitch this year. This is his 30th game. He's been dominant.
So once again, another example of Aaron Boone managing with a little sense of urgency here. It wasn't the pitch count that got Monty. It was the situation. And, of course, as Michael said, Loaizaga is a pretty good option to have down there.
I'd say this reminds me of those games, Coney, where you're out in the field and you're like, if we can tie this game up, we'll win the game. And it's just like, how are we going to do it, though? Because Minaya has been that. Aaron Boone is seeing that also, thinking we have got to keep this right here.
2-1 on Ramon Laureano. He was 0 for 2 against Montgomery. Minaya would like more runs. Great fastball, 99 miles an hour. Today's high-speed pitch comes from your Ford store. 99, 2-2. Grounded to third. There's one on to first. It's a double play. Loaizaga comes in and gets the job done. 5-4-3 to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. And it looks like the A's are checking whether or not to challenge. Will they do it? They will, so don't write down the double play just yet. We'll see if they got him at first. You tell us. Wow.
It's got a chance of being overturned.
I don't think we better go to break. What do you think?
I think we better wait.
You know, Gio Urshela did a great job. He made his mind up. He was not going to go after the runner. And he'd go ahead and just try to go around the horn. Laureano runs extremely well. I don't know. From that angle, it's starting to enter the glove. So who knows? We'll just wait for the people at Chelsea to tell us, right?
The crowd is watching it on the big board in center. And the crew chief is Marvin Hudson. He's the one who made the call. And it has to be a second umpire with him. So Bruce Dreckman doing the honors.
Excellent choice of music, too, while we wait.
Let's see. Overturn.
Video reviews determined.
It was that close. All right, so it's a fielder's choice. Put out at second is 5-4. Now it's first and third, 2 outs, as Loaisiga will deal with Jed Lowry. Canna's at third. Laureano is at first. Lowry from the left side against the righty Loaisiga. Upstairs. Two and 0. Now on Mother's Day, at least the first time at bat, we see the guys use pink bats. And usually on Father's Day, we've seen them use blue ones, but not today. The blue is obviously represented with the sleeves and the sweatbands and the blue ribbon. But no blue bats today. Great blue catcher's gear, though.
Yeah, that stands out.
2-1. 2-2.
It's a good pickup, Michael. Get used to seeing the colored bats nowadays. So much more gear now, Paulie. The shoes, the bats, the guantes.
Unbelievable. How many options the players have now?
Crowd looking for a strikeout. And they don't get it. 3-2.
Wow. The check swing, but it looked like a strike on the call. Not given the call at a ball, but again, Loaisiga 99, upper part of the strike zone.
Foul back. Laureano will again go from first on the 3-2 two outs. Grounded to first, grabbed by Gittins. He'll take it himself, steps on the bag, and Loaisiga does the job. No runs ahead. 2 men left. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's exciting what's coming up next. Here's a look at the Yankees' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Chase. Make more of what's yours. Monday's an off day. Then the Royals come to town for 3. Then the Yankees go to Fenway for the first time this year. They'll play the Red Sox 3 games. And then the Angels come to town with Shohei Ohtani, 4 games. And then the Mets come to town, 3 games on the 4th of July weekend. That should be fun. Clint Frazier leads off against Sean Manaea, and the swing and a miss to start it off 0-1. Count 1-1. So Frazier struck out in the 3rd, but that's not an exclusive club. He has struck out 10 Yankees over the first 5 innings. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
A lot of
You're
those
talking
today.
about everything. Yeah, a lot inside there. He like crossfires. But Coney, I was talking about, you were talking about the gloves and everything new. That's not a new one. That glove at one time was green. That thing has got to a pale look. Must be a good luck glove. We saw Chapman's new glove yesterday with his knee on, but that's seen a few games there.
The 2-2. Fouled away. Still 2-2.
You know, we didn't mention it yesterday, but sometimes, especially with pitchers, when you get a new glove, you think it's broken in. We saw Chapman drop a ball the other day at first base. Maybe it's not quite broken in. That one's broken in.
You're right, Coney. The fingers of those gloves are real stiff, and you think the pocket's all ready, but yeah, it just doesn't lead to the pocket if it's not broken in completely. And I do remember that play, exactly what you're talking about.
We used to put shaving cream all over the glove to try to soften up the leather and break it in. There's all sorts of tricks of the trade on how to break in a glove.
One time, Coney, I heard that you could wrap it and put it in the microwave. And I thought, well, that's a good idea. Well, the next thing I know, I put it in the microwave. I was going to break it in. And this was actually a spring training. It was a rental, so it was a good news. But it started sparking because there's little metal rivets in there. You're not allowed to microwave little metal rivets.
You know what we used to do in the Bronx? We'd put oil on the glove and then have Dad back up the glove, you know, the car over the glove. Back and forth, back and forth.
Interesting.
That's a good at bat for Frazier. He really worked Manaea, and that's the first walk issued by the A's left-hander.
You've had a couple doubles, but they both went with 2 outs. Now you can see if you can kind of manufacture something with a leadoff walk with a couple outs to spare here and turning over the lineup to DJ LeMahieu.
So 1-0. Now, one thing the Yankees have to like is looking up on that center field board and seeing 84 pitches, and we've detailed this. You want to get into the A's bullpen on a very good team. This is the part of the team that you might be able to take advantage of. And that's what the Yankees did yesterday. Late inning lightning for them.
It was an awkward pitch right there, Coney. It was at 91. It wasn't a changeup. It was a sinker. I mean, usually a sinker's 94, 95. So you wonder if he almost just threw that little, you know, BP fastball just to get DJ out there just a little bit.
1-1. 2-1.
It's a great pickup, Paul. You know, when he comes inside to right-hand batters, that's when he humps up a little bit, and he has a little higher velocity. When he goes away, yeah, maybe a little more sink, a little bit off of it.
Two and two. Bob Melvin sending out signals to the catcher Garcia.
Generally, that's for the running game. When to throw, when to pick out, pick off. You never know, though.
Strike three. LeMahieu down looking. That's strikeout number 11 for Minaya, and that's a new career high for him.
Well, it's just a smart pitch. I mean, he has beat right-handers in so much late in the count, and then watch. Let's just go away. And you see that front hip of DJ LeMahieu opening up. That's expecting that ball to come in, and you can't pull the trigger on the ball away. Very, very smart pitch from Minaya.
He's thrown 65 fastballs out of his 88 pitches today, and the Yankees have swung and missed 20 times.
Judge fouls it away.
In fact, only 2 times today have they put his fastball in play. They've either taken it for a strike or swung and missed at it or fouled it off. 15 times they fouled off that fastball today, just like that.
One and one.
And like you said, Paul, it's not just the fastball. It's up, down, in, out. A little bit off on a sinker, a little bit put it on the fastball in.
What is amazing, you talk about the pitch count, and you see, even though, you know, he did get the big out against LeMahieu, he is starting to lose location just a little bit. First time you've seen it all day in the 6th inning.
2-2 on Judge.
The Yankees have only managed to put 7 of his pitches in play today. Out of 92.
Three and two on Judge.
You know, very hard if you're Clint Frazier or Aaron Boone to put him in motion with a lefty. And Aaron Judge, a guy that if you do make a pitch can strike out. Very tough to put him in motion here. 3-2.
And a balk.
Unless you balk him, then you can put him in motion and let him jog to second. Big play right there for the Yankees.
Well, David, this is your favorite call. What do you see?
Don't get me started. It's Father's Day, Michael.
I really didn't see it. What, I mean, what did
a slight twitch of his glove to start his motion?
Okay.
Very slight. And I guarantee you, however many fans are here in the stadium, did not see it. But yeah, technically it's a balk. You know, once you engage the rubber and you start your movement, whether it's a subtle flinch or not, and stop, it is technically a balk.
Foul back.
That's the best pitch Aaron Judge has had all day to hit. Everything else has been away and up out of the strike zone. But again, to your point, Coney, he umped it up a little bit. Instead of 91, 92, it was 94. But it did get some plate.
It's a lot of those today. A lot of foul balls off of Manaea's fastballs.
Well, the Yankees are making him work, so the pitch count's up to 94. Sergio Romo was up in the A's bullpen. 3-2 is not made. The inside move. Taking Frazier back to second.
Which always works, right, Coney? That inside move, it's a gimme. You're going to get an out, right?
Just to check. Maybe he didn't feel comfortable with the pitch selection. Sometimes I do that. I don't want to throw this pitch.
3-2. Another good at bat as Judge works a walk first and second with one man out for Sanchez.
All of a sudden, Manaea's struggling a little bit with control, and the Yankees, you got to like who's coming to the plate. Gary Sanchez has had some good at-bats recently and earlier in this game with that line drive to right center field.
Scott Emerson, the pitching coach, will come out and talk with Manaea. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Well, the A's have out hit the Yankees 3-2. They lead 1-0. Bottom of the sixth. Yankees have runners on first and second. First time all game they've had 2 runners on. Previously they've had 2 runners in scoring position. A double by Sanchez in the first with 2 outs, and a 2-out double by LeMahieu in the third. Now 2 walks here in the 6th inning as Sanchez comes to the plate with 1 out. Strike. Changeup. Swing and a miss. Do a changeup again. 0-2.
Yeah, another good one, too. Located well and good movement away. You almost guarantee at some point he's going to try to sneak that fastball on the inner half. That's 86, 87, and you're looking at 93, 94 on the inner half of the plate.
That one's driven out into right center field and deep. On the run is Laureano. He can't get there. It'll be one hop against the wall. Frazier scores. Here comes Judge. Here's the throw. He'll score. Sanchez going to third. He'll be tagged out. No, he's safe. He's safe, and the Yankees lead 2-1. Somehow he eluded the tag by Chapman, but the damage was done on the base hit into the gap in right center field.
Boy, I tell you one thing, Michael, I hope that Gary Sanchez is back. I mean, they're going to check to see, but the damage is done with a huge, huge 2-out or 1-out double to right center field. And again, location missed, but Gary Sanchez 2 weeks ago would not cover that ball away. This is Gary Sanchez at his best.
Well, the A's are going to challenge the call at third. But here's the swing that sent the double, at least the double, into right center field.
I think he was safe there. I don't know that his leg was not touched before he got to third base. Right. No, he missed. He is in there.
Right there is the only argument they have, and maybe he thought he pushed it off here, but Gary's finger never left the bag, so that should be a double, and he goes to third on the throw home.
I'll tell you what, it's so funny as a player when things start going well, it seems like you get all the breaks. He just continued to wheel around. He's a dead duck, doesn't even slide, somehow gets his hand in there, but a huge hit to put the Yankees ahead.
He's in there. I mean, how often do you see, David? Think about this. And he is in there. The call stands. A guy went from losing part of his job. He might be in Colorado for the All-Star game.
I was just thinking the same thing. You still have time, Yankee fans, to vote for this guy for the All-Star game. And who would have thought that about 6 weeks ago?
So Stanton's at third, and that double knocks out Sean Manaea, who had been great until this inning. The A's go to the bullpen with Stanton due up. Well, Manaea, great game, but he's responsible for Sanchez at third. The A's bring the infield in halfway. Romo's on the mound against Stanton. 1-0. 28th game for Sergio Romo, a strikeout, about a strikeout per inning.
Well, we talked about Romo yesterday, and as a hitter, you're getting a slider. And he got a slider the first pitch, and there's many more to come. Everything goes off his slider.
High drive left field, but that'll be a foul ball. Now you might say, well, why are the A's halfway, not all the way in? Well, it's the math. Sanchez is not that fast at third, and Stanton hits the ball about 110 miles an hour, so they feel they could play halfway and still get the runner.
My sentiments exactly.
2-1. 2-2.
Coney, I thought it was very interesting what Romo said yesterday. Everybody knows I'm going to throw a slider, but which one is it? And he changes it a lot. And I mean, you did it a lot too. You changing your grips, or you just changing your arm angle to take a little more off? What is it?
Both arm. And if with him, it's arm angle. He can drop down a little bit more and sweep it, or you can get just slightly on top of it to get a little more vertical movement, downward tilt to it. Really, it's about the shape of the breaking pitch and the count.
3-2. Almost hit Sanchez. Danced out of the way and now looks back at Stanton.
Yeah, it's all laughing matter, but I tell you what, I've been there when a right-handed power hitter, you don't have a lot of time to react, and your natural reaction is to get out of the way and move. Well, the ball hooks at you, so it kind of follows you. Phil Nevin with the leg up there. Yeah, Gary says hit it fair. Get me in.
3-2. Got him. Tipped into the glove of Garcia. 2 away.
Another slider, but this one got a lot of the plate, and I'm sure that Big G's not happy about this. This is a ball that you could handle. Just missed it, fouled it into the glove.
So that brings up Torres, who's happy to see Manaea out of the game. Struck out twice against him. Hits a fly ball to right field. Coming on Pinder. It's a foul ball.
You know, there's certain things that you see in a game that just bring you back and you really like. I mean, Manaea was tremendous. All of a sudden, you've got to be irritated with yourself. You're down 2-1, but to see his reaction after a strikeout, still in the game, knowing what's at stake. I mean, that's what Bob Melvin has over there, and that's why the Oakland A's are a good team that a lot of people don't know about.
Two-1 Yankees. Runner at third, 2 outs. Infield is back. The 0-1. 1-1 on Glaber. One and 2. way outside, 2-2. Urshela on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runs in. Yankees lead 2-1. Runner at third. Grounded to third. Chapman collects, fires. Got him. But the Yankees take the lead. Couple of walks. And then Gary Sanchez steps up. Much maligned. People wanted him gone. Heard a lot of boos. But on this Father's Day, to his detractors, he says, "Who's your daddy?" Coaches Phil Nevin and Mark Kotze both won the Golden Spikes Award for the best amateur player. 3 former Yankee players also won the award. Jim Abbott would be one, Robin Ventura the other, and I don't know the third. Travis Lee.
Never would have got that one.
Now, Paul, we're going to start playing a game every single day. And there's Phil and Kotze. You have no idea that Travis Lee was your teammate in '96. Am I right?
You know what, Michael? You're really setting me up now, because if I can't win this conversation. If I say yes and you're like, "Nah, he never played with you."
Tony Kemp pinch hitting for Pinder. 2 home runs in this series for Kemp. And this is when Ventura. That one's drilled deep to right field. Going back guilty. After I had reminded him he hadn't hit a home run in forever. Before the game, so I'll hit one for you today, Michael.
Michael, there's your extra base hit.
Let's see if he points. And then he points up.
Yes, there it is.
What an amazingly good guy he was. Still is.
Some of the driest humor. He would come up with stuff that it took you a while to process it, but it was actually funny.
That might be the first in the history of the game. Somebody hits a home run and points to the broadcast booth.
And you know what? When I reminded him he hadn't hit a home run in forever, I forget the exact stat. He said, "Well, I'll hit one today, and when I come around third, I'll point up to the roof." Who would think he would remember? But he did. Man of his word.
A lot of pull, Michael. You know that?
I mean, you're used to the other way, right? If they're pointing at the broadcast booth, it's not a good thing.
No.
They don't like what you're saying.
Especially last year when they heard every word we said.
First of all, it's a question, though. That was typical Michael K. Company. Hey, you haven't had an extra base hit in 2 weeks. I'm like, do I really need to hear this? You just wanted to remind me, or you were lighting a fire under us? Is that it?
Yes. To both.
Yeah.
Well, your reaction always made for good copy, you know. I could talk about it on the radio. And John would say,
noticed, but I was gonna.
John would say to me, "What did Paul say when you told him that?" I said, "Got mad and stormed away."
It was all an act, Michael.
Oh, I know. Now we know it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an absolute sweetheart now.
Oh, caught down here in my basement. I ain't got no other alternative.
The 2-2. Outside 3-2 on Kemp.
Kemp has made this a competitive at bat. He's fouled off a lot of hard sinkers, 97 to 100 I saw on one pitch. So he's working Loaizaga now at a full count. Big out here for the Yankees.
Popped up. Urshela in foul territory. Third base coaching box makes the play. 1 down. All right, let's go around the majors. Brought to you by Mount Sinai Hospital. We find a way. Walker Buehler took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. 7 1/3 innings, 11 strikeouts against Arizona. Blue Jays 6 runs in the 9th to beat Baltimore after the bench is cleared. And Salvador Perez, who's probably going to be the all-star starter, 290, 18 homers, 46 ribbies this season. He's played 69 games as a catcher.
He has meant as much to that franchise as any player since the 70s, probably George Brett. The heart and soul of the Royals organization is Salvador Perez. See them next week.
And they're struggling a little bit as a team. And they also have Monday off, and then they start the series against the Yankees Tuesday in the Bronx. 2-0.
You know, I'm just putting myself in a player's position. That's a fun day off, knowing that Tuesday night you're going to strap it on and Garrett Cole's on the hill, right? That's how you enjoy a day off.
Cole against Brady Singer. 2-0. 3-0 on Murphy.
It's also another way to sustain some momentum that the Yankees have. Win the day before Garrett Cole pitches.
There's a strike. 3-1.
You know, it's amazing, Coney, and it never changes. The 2-0 pitch is in the zone, and it's called ball 3, and then ball 3, it doesn't matter where you throw it. It's a strike.
The count matters. It always has and always will, as long as umpires are calling it and they're human beings. John Tumpane is really, he's been pretty solid throughout the year. He's in the 80 percentile in terms of overall accuracy, top 20% in the league this year, according to umpirescorecards.com, who grade the umpires based on that box you see, the radar tracking system. Hawkeye.
That one just missed. Loizaga with his hands on his hips. A 1-out walk to Murphy.
I think Loizaga is looking where the ball was caught. I think Tumpane was looking about where the glove was moved. You see Gary Sanchez has to reach across the plate. That doesn't make it a ball, but in the umpire's eyes, it does. Clearly a strike.
That's why there's so much emphasis on catcher framing. You see the movement there. You think the umpires don't follow the catchers and look at how they catch the ball? There's an example of it right there.
Andrus swings at a pitch way outside, but it moved there. 0-2.
Really the first breaking ball he's thrown. He's thrown a couple changeups, but everything else has been that hard sinker. Andrus way out in front.
Yeah, when he gets that breaking ball out there, wow, that is the dynamic 1-2 punch. You know he's got the great two-seamer up to 100 miles an hour.
Chopped slowly. Loizaga fires to first for the second out as Murphy moves into scoring position. Well, join Dan Manarino next Sunday for Picks on Politics. With the primaries in the rearview mirror, the race for New York City mayor heats up, and Picks is your place for politics. Next Sunday at 7:30 a.m. right here on Picks 11, New York's very own.
Did you look at that last play, Coney, and put yourself in that position? That little ground ball back to you, you know, it's so important just to know what you're going to do, get an out there. You know, he barehanded that, which is kind of a dangerous play. but didn't even offer it, trying to make the great play and get the out at second base.
Mitch Moreland will pinch hit for Garcia.
It's a good point, Paul, as he goes in and bare hands it. Took a chance there. Not sure if he needed the bare hand there, but nonetheless, well done.
Matt Blake will talk things over, how they'll go after Moreland.
Well, if you've watched Yankee baseball over the last few years, you remember Mitch Moreland being part of the Boston Red Sox. He was actually an All-Star in 2018, but then he's traveled around a little bit. He actually ended up in San Diego last year, but then came over to Oakland in the offseason.
Now with this move, Bob Melvin realizes they're going to lose their DH because Murphy is the other catcher. He's the DH today. So you'll pencil the pitcher into the 7 hole. There's a strike.
I think Bob Melvin realizes in a 2-1 game with the Yankees bullpen, you might not have another opportunity to tie this game up. And, runner in scoring position, you got to pull all the stops out to try to tie this game up here.
I mean, how about that printing on that lineup card? I mean, it's just extraordinary. Should make out wedding invitations.
Yeah.
And the Yankees is nice, but you can't make a wedding invitation out of that.
Well, at least on the Yankee side, they capitalized the first name letters.
True. They're true to form. 1-2 on Moreland.
If you're Moreland, you're in an emergency zone here. You've seen 98, 99, and that was a changeup at 90. Now, what do you gauge anything on? Especially as a pinch hitter coming off the bench, not in the rhythm of the game.
LeMahieu in shallow right field for the lefty swinging Moreland. Defense essentially straight up. Loaisiga leans in, brings the hands together, sets right around the neck, and the pitch. The change, 2-2. Stand corrected, the pitcher would go in the 9 spot where Moreland is pinch hitting the catcher. So Murphy will stay in the 7 hole. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Moreland down on strikes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. An impressive performance by Loaisiga at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead the A's 2-1, but we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx. Spectrum Mobile, the most reliable service coast to coast. 2-3-0 for the Yanks, 1-3-0 for the A's. A good old pitcher's duel between Sean Manaea and Jordan Montgomery. They've turned the ball over to the bullpen. Matt Olson, the only run against Montgomery, a home run in the first. And then you had Gary's a 2-run double. Kemp in left. Kana is the right fielder. And, of course, Murphy's behind the plate. So those are the changes. And Romo's still in there as Urshela swings and misses.
You know, Monty really matched Sean Manaea today, and Manaea was on. I mean, he had to be spot on just to stay with him all day, and Monty continues to pitch well at home. He's pitched, really throughout his career, he's pitched exceptionally well at Yankee Stadium.
You break down the Oakland A's, I mean, why are they 44-28? Why are they winning the West? I mean, if you've seen these 3 pitching performances, Caprillion, Bassett, Manaea, every one of them dominant performances. So, you know, the Yankees, that's what makes them a unique team is, you know, is when their starting pitching is good, they can stay in the game, stay close, and wait for the big hit to win. And that's what they've done recently.
Guerra warming up in the bullpen. So we gave you all the defensive changes, and if you're keeping score at home, you just pencil Romo into the number 9 hole. Now, as for Loaizaga, it's his 12th game this year with 1 1/3 or more innings pitched and no runs allowed. As Urshela down on strike. So that ties Boston's Garrett Whitlock and TJ Antone of the Reds for the major league lead of relief appearances of that sort.
Well, it sounds like we just continue to say it. Romo, another slider, but Coney, you've talked about it. I mean, he can change the direction, the shape. That's a really short little eye of a slider right there.
Yeah, that one went down.
Urshela out front.
Yeah, we should give Jonathan Loaizaga a little push on the All-Star game as well. He certainly should get consideration. The pitchers don't get voted in, but nonetheless, he should have good consideration, considering how he's pitched so far this year, as good as any setup guy in the league.
Popped up. See if it stays in play. It does, as Olsen makes the play for the second out. Well, Tuesday night on Yes, Garrett Cole and the Yankees kick off a 3-game set at home against the Kansas City Royals. Coverage starts at 6 with Audi batting practice today and DraftKings Yankees pregame. Then first pitch is just a bit after 7 right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. There's Chris Gittens. He has struck out twice today. 1-0.
You know, look at Gittens, and you know he's pumped to be in the major leagues. But Coney, you remember the times where you know Luke Voigt is coming back. You hear the rumors of the big games in rehab, so you know your at bats are limited.
High drive left field. Kemp is there, fighting the sun, and he makes the play for the final out. So the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3, and we'll go to the 8th. It's 2-1 Yanks. Time for the A's in-game box score, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Not too many hits in there. 2 by Olsen, a single and a solo home run. That's the only scoring. Got a walk for Murphy, walk for Cano, walk for Chapman. Not much. Yankee pitching has held down a pretty good offense for the most part in this series, and looking to take 2 out of 3 and hand the A's their first road series loss of the year, which is kind of hard to believe. And the Yankees have changed it up a bit in the outfield. Frazier moves from right to left. Andujar's out. Wade comes in to play center, and Judge moves over to right.
You see Tyler Wade and Clint Frazier telling you talk on fly balls, because you can get a totally different angle on the sun. You know, depending on where the fly ball is, it's probably an easier play for the center fielder going towards left center. So these things, there's a lot of communications on days like this. The last thing you want to do in a 1-run game is lose a ball in the sun.
New pitcher for the Yankees, third pitcher for the Yankees, Lucas Litke. Do you find it a little curious, David, that, I mean, Tyler Wade has shown he could play center field, but you have Brett Gardner on the bench, and you're going with Tyler Wade in center?
Mike just wanted to give Gardy a full day of rest, and Wade does have excellent speed.
Gets tested right away because, of course, that's the way it works. One down.
But it is a valid point, Michael. The confidence that Aaron Boone has in that guy playing outfield now. It's like a light switch went on. All of a sudden, he's a viable option in center field.
That really increases his value, too.
You break down the elite teams in baseball, and you have to have players like this. You know, as many guys that you carry in the bullpen, you've got to have guys that can play the infield, can play outfield. And Tyler Wade has done a great job the last couple of years. He's always been able to catch the ball in the infield, but all of a sudden now he looks extremely comfortable in the outfield.
High fly ball, deep left, going back. Frazier on the track, leaps, he can't make the play, and the ball caroms out towards center. Chapman around second, he's going to third, and he will make it. It is a triple for Matt Chapman, and now the tying run is 90 feet away.
Well, the good news is it didn't go out of the ballpark. The bad news is he ends up at third base, so you got an easy way of scoring runs. The ball went off the top of the wall. Tyler Wade got a little too close, so he didn't get a good carom. Clint Frazier went after it, out of his reach. Next thing you know, it kind of ricocheted the other way behind Tyler Wade. And I think if Clint Frazier, in hindsight, would have got to the wall, it would have been a much easier play.
Chapman thought that was gone. And then picked up steam and made it to third. Yankees bring the infield in for Matt Olson. That's line to right field. It's foul. Now also we must note here, kind of a curious choice to go with Litke here in the 8th inning. Unless you don't have Chapman and you're saving Britton to close. This would seem like it's a Britton inning. And Litke's pitched a lot of late, but they elect to go with Litke.
Yeah, and I think this matchup might have something to do with it. Olson's got to get another bat as he hit that slider off the end. Was the only true lefty in the lineup today was Olson.
Home plate umpire right there as the umpires rotate on balls like that into the outfield.
Never been a big fan of the head first slide. When you see those arms like catch and go back the other way, not good.
Now, if you want to get a read on, was that a catchable ball? Well, they have catch probability. 95% of the time that ball is caught. 95% catch probability.
Yeah, you could see that he kind of coasted to the wall, and as an outfielder, you're taught sprint to the wall, find the ball, make an easier catch. And as he was drifting, then you kind of lose sight of where the wall is and kind of mistime your jump.
1-2 on Matt Olson. Now the Yankees are taking a chance because they have the 3 infielders on the right side, and Olson has shown the ability and the propensity to go the other way. Most of the left side of the infield is open, and that would tie the game. Just a soft ground ball there.
I would throw that same pitch again.
Nice block by Sanchez.
Yeah, he tried it, and Coney, you're right, because if you remember the pitch that we were talking about earlier that Olson took to left field was the high away fastball from Monty. And I think Litke has done his homework knowing that he can cover that pitch. You're either going to have to jam him with a 2-seamer in under his hands or get a swing and a miss with that breaking ball away. Different breaking ball there, Coney, kind of like a cutter, not the big slider, but tried to do the same thing just off the outside corner.
Go back to the curveball here. It's your best pitch.
Swing and a miss, got him. He went with the curveball, and he gets Olson. Big out.
That's a big relief and a good call, Coney. I mean, get beat with your best, especially against a good left-handed hitter. Best curveball of that count. That one right at your front hip, breaks out over the plate. Olson out in front.
So here's Laureano. And there's a strike.
Well, you saw those splits on against lefties and righties, and you're going to have to make perfect pitches or get around him. Don't give him anything. First base open.
0-2. One thing about Litke, David, he doesn't scare. When you're out of the big leagues for 6 years, you're just going to give it your all. He's not nervous out there.
It's a great point, and that's the one thing we've noticed about him. We talked about his curveball. We talked about his moxie. But yes, his veteran presence certainly has been a real surprise.
The 0-2. Fly ball, deep left, going back is Frazier. Makes the play. And Litke works out of big trouble with a runner on third and one out. No runs a hit. One man left. We'll go to the bottom of the eighth. Well, Gary Sanchez, 2 doubles, and one of those doubles drove in the Yankees 2 runs. And that's where we are. A double for DJ LeMahieu, and that's it. The Yankees have 3 hits. 3 hits in the game, but they lead 2-1 going into the bottom of the 8th inning. And speaking of the score, let's take a look at the line score brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. 2-3-0 for the Yankees, 1-4-0 for Oakland, as the Yankees try to pad that lead here in the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher for the A's is Cam Bedrosian.
Bet he was hanging around a big league clubhouse when he was a little toddler on Father's Day.
And a strike.
Obviously, Cam Bedrosian's father was longtime Major League pitcher Steve Bedrosian.
Yeah, I didn't like him, Coney. He threw hard. I remember facing him a few times, and there was just something about his fastball that used to take off a little bit quicker than everybody else's.
Count 1-1 on Frazier, who has walked and struck out. Also scored a run. Fouled over the Yankee dugout, 1-2. Well, there's Chapman. So to think that they were going with Litke because they'd have somebody else close. No, they went with Litke because they like Litke in that spot, David.
I think so. You know, and obviously they have all the information they want in that dugout to make decisions. I still think it comes down to Olson against Litke's curveball, and it worked at the end of the day.
1-2. 2-2. So here's how the bullpen has been breaking down of late. So Chapman threw 18 pitches yesterday, last one being 103.4 miles per hour. Green pitched yesterday, 13 pitches. Cortez was the unsung hero, 50. And it's interesting, David. They said that Green, Aaron Boone told Ryan that that's the best he's ever pitched.
Best inning of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was because of his curveball. That last curveball he threw to end that inning on striking out the side was the best one I've seen him throw.
Frazier down looking. Ryan, were you surprised when Boone said that was the best he's looked all year?
You know, I was, just because even Boone put it in the context of saying there's a lot of good ones to choose from, right? This is a pitcher who's had a lot of success, and yet the sharpness of the breaking ball was something that Boone pointed out he just thought was on a different level yesterday.
Played a big role.
And you mentioned it, Michael, in the game, how much confidence Chad Green has in his curveball now. Generally speaking, he gets swings and misses on when it's out of the zone. He threw that last one right down the middle. It dropped off the table. Locked up everybody.
LeMahieu fouls it away. And I'm still not sure that Britton is grade A Britton just yet. They're bringing him along.
Yeah, that's part of it.
The 0-1. 0-2. Bedrosian deals. Grounded to short. Andrus gets LeMahieu. 2 down. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scores. They're brought to you by your local Chevy dealer. So Toronto leading Baltimore 6-4, top of the 9th inning at Camden Yards. Houston 7-2 over the White Sox, top of the 5th. Kansas City 4 and Boston 2, top 5. And Tampa Bay, Seattle starts in about 12 minutes. Chapman's getting ready, and this is who's due up for the A's. Jed Lowry and Tony Kemp and Sean Murphy, and none of those three have had a hit in his career against Chapman. One and 0 on Judge. One and 1.
Well, the story of the day so far, obviously, Gary Sanchez continues his resurgence. Sitting on deck here if Judge can get on. And Jordan Montgomery continuing to take the next step. Matching Sean Manaea today when Manaea was absolutely dominant.
Two and 1 on Judge.
Very easy to say, Coney, you know, when you're down 1-0 early like Monty was, and, you know, just keep us close. But it's got to be frustrating as a pitcher knowing that, you know, your offense is doing nothing and, you know, you give up an early run. You don't even know at that point if you can tie the game. It's got to be very hard to pitch every single inning like that.
Yeah, that's why I've always called eyewash on when a starting pitcher says, I just face the opposing lineup. I don't worry about the other pitcher. That is complete eyewash. You see how Manaea was dealing, and to your point, Paulie, Monty had to notice that. And you know there's no margin for error. And he raised his game after that home run early in the game.
2-2. 3-2. Judge was at last night's Game 7 Brooklyn Nets Milwaukee Bucks game at Barclays Center. Had good seats too.
I've never seen an NBA playoff game where it looked like it was 1-on-5. I mean, is Kevin Durant one of the most phenomenal players you've ever seen in your life? Unbelievable.
Yes, he is. As Judge goes down on strikes and the Yankees go down in order, and we go to the ninth. Aroldis Chapman was dealing yesterday. He finished the game with a 103-mile-an-hour fastball. What's he bringing to the party today? We'll find out as we head to the ninth here on Pix 11. Yankees lead the A's 2-1. The A's are 8 0-1 in their first 9 road series this year. They split at Tampa Bay in April. And this is the first time in franchise history that they've been unbeaten in their first 9 road series of a season. And Aroldis Chapman will try to complete the task, as the Yankees would take 2 out of 3 if they hold on. So Chapman looking for a 16th save, and he's going to deal first with Jed Lowrie. One and 0. There's a strike. Drops a slider in. Well, first 18 games, Chapman did not allow an earned run. Last 10, 6.48 ERA, and opponents hitting .314 against him. And he's allowed 3 home runs. He's looking at his finger. Looks like maybe a nail. He's okay.
But once in a while, Coney, you've got to take care of your take things in your own hands. Take care of them yourself, right?
Well, it is nail biting time. 1-run lead at the ninth.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Lowrie had a good at bat against Chapman yesterday. He ended up Aaron Judge running down a ball in right field, but he had a good solid at bat. He hit the ball hard.
Two and 1 as the slider out of the zone.
3 straight sliders to start this at bat after ending yesterday's game with a 103-mile-an-hour fastball. So I guarantee you Lowrie was not looking for those 3 pitches.
Three and 1 on Jed Lowrie. Today's the anniversary of Aaron Boone's Major League debut. In 1997, called up to play for the Reds against the Cardinals in St. Louis. And he walks Lowrie. Also, Paul, can you imagine this? Talk about a bittersweet day for Aaron. He was called up because the Reds sent down his brother, Brett Boone.
Wow. No, I didn't know the ending to that story. That is strange.
So here's Tony Kemp. Would the A's think about playing some small ball, bunting the runner into scoring position? Yankees think they might. Urshela is in on the grass at third. Not the easiest thing in the world to bunt Aroldis Chapman. Usually you don't try to play for the tie on the road. Oh, if Giddens was a little shorter, that's an E1.
I always hate to see pitchers throwing the ball around the bases late in games. It just can cause too many issues. Good job by Giddens.
I think they were trying to see if Kemp would give away anything there as well by putting on the pickoff.
Kemp did not flinch there, didn't move his hands up the bat or anything, so you got to think that he's swinging away. But boy, coming off the bench, if you're Kemp, I know you've had a couple home runs in this series, but all of a sudden it's like, wow, thanks Bob Melvin. Here I am against Aroldis Chapman here, lefty on lefty.
2-0.
really close pitch. Certainly would have lit up the box on the radar tracking system. So another tight strike zone here.
Inside, Chapman really dealing himself into a jam here. 3-0 on Kemp.
You know, Coney, you go all the way back to the start of this inning, and all of a sudden you talked about 3 consecutive breaking balls, and now it looks like he doesn't know what to go to for a strike pitch because he hasn't been able to control the fastball trying to get back to it.
That's exactly right.
And ball 4. So first and second, nobody out here in the 9th inning for the A's.
That's not only ball 4, that was a breaking ball, and you're not going to come out. There's something wrong when Aroldis Chapman is throwing a 3-0 breaking ball to a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, just a curious sequence all the way around as you see double barrel action. Wandy Peralta and Luis Cessa getting ready in a hurry.
A lot of people on the mound there in that conference. They all retreat. And now first and second for the catcher Murphy. Lowry's at second. Kemp is at first. Sanchez stands in front of the plate, gives the signs in case anybody's going, if anything's on.
9 pitches, 1 strike. 5 sliders, 4 fastballs. Very curious.
Ball 1. Very rare to see the Yankee bullpen up and throwing with Chapman on the mound. Yankees trying to hold on. They lead 2-1, top of the 9th inning. This could be 1, 2, on to first. It's a triple play. They've done it again. 3 times a charm, and the Yankees win 2-1. Can you believe it?
Wow, it smiles all around, and that's a good way to put the bullpen down. Another triple play. Michael, you might be a part of history here. What's 3 of them so far this year?
Well, the Yankees have never had 3 triple plays in any of their seasons since 1903. Just amazing, David.
I only have one thing to say. I'm going to answer your question, Michael. No.
It's hard to believe. What a way to end the game. A triple play off the bat of Murphy. Second time that they've had Chapman on the mound when this happened. And it's a 5, 4, 3 triple play.
I tell you what, that's an exciting way to end the game. But boy, if you break down this series, I mean, the Yankees are competing now. In the last 6 games, including the Toronto series, you can see the Yankees, they feel it. They're competing the complete game. They're making the plays, getting big hits. Does the fun come back to the Bronx? We'll see Tuesday night if they can continue.
What a week for the Yankees. 5-1. 3 out of 4 series wins since getting swept by Boston. No stare today. Just a crouch of relief. Triple play gets it done as the Yankees win 2-1. We'll come back and wrap it up.